Lambourne has got old downland on the chalk that has been here for hundreds of years, and horses have galloped over it, and it's just that lovely spongy turf that horses can enjoy and hopefully not get too many injuries on. We all know each other. We might not socialise with each other, but within the racing industry, it's like one big family. We all help each other out. If you ask each other a favour, most people will return it. So it's a great camaraderie in the racing industry and in the Lambourne area. So we all get on well. It's a lot of fun. We travel to the races together, and and we take the mickey out of each other a fair bit as well. We have a lot of fun. I suppose people say, oh gosh, Colin Brown's been in Lambourne for forever. How many decades has he been here? I've been here a long time. I came here first of all age 15, and then I left for 2 or 3 years. Then I came back again, and I've lived at various villages around Lambourne, and up until the present day, I've lived in Lambourne for the last 18 years. So I've been associated with Lambourne for well over 45 years. Great place. This is the heart of racing. The only career I considered was becoming a jockey, because that's all I ever wanted to do. My father really didn't mind what I did. My mother hated horse racing because she thought it was really dangerous, but I became a jockey. The influence really came from my uncle Ron, which bodes well for longevity, because he died 2 years ago, aged 104, and he was a gate man at Goodwood, but followed his racing all his life, always having a little bet. And he took me racing to Goodwood one day. We stood up on Trundle Hill, and he said, what are you going to do when you leave school, Colin? I said, I'm not sure, but I love to do something in the countryside. He said, why don't you become a jockey? Because you're small, And I said, I've never ridden a horse, and I'm 12 years old. So I said to my dad, can we get a horse? He said, yeah, okay, we'll go and buy a little horse. And that's how it started, really. So we got a horse, broke it in. I got someone to start to teach me to ride, and it went from there, really. And left school at 14 and moved to some stables near Andover. And then I went back home and worked, did a pre-apprentice course in painting and decorating and building work in a college for about 6 months. And then I hated that. I left and came back to live in Lambourne and was apprentice jockey. I was 15 years old and weighed 6 stone 6. One of my biggest achievements was coming from a family that really had nothing ever to do with racing, and at 14 years old I left school and then rode my first winner as a 17-year-old. My second biggest achievement was probably when Desert Orchid came along and saw almost getting married to such a good horse like this. I rode him in 42 races and won 17 on him, which is a lot of races, and he got better and better. I mean, he was lightning over a hurdle. He was dangerous, really. He used to stand off what we call outside the wings, so you know the wings that lead you into a jump, you couldn't see them in the photographs. He was taken off before then. He was magic. And then he went over steeplechase fences and he was even more magic, and he just captured the public's eye, and he was just absolutely brilliant. He was like driving a Ferrari as opposed to a Ford Escort. On a good horse in a race is just a great feeling. You get that sort of feeling of, you're on the best horse in the race. You have a little peep around and you see that other jockeys are starting to get a little bit more urgent with their mounts, get them to try and go faster, and you're still sat there motionless. And you know that when you come to say 2 out or 1 hurdle out or fence out, that you can just change up a gear and off you go. It's a great feeling, just you and that horse. You are in charge and he's in charge. You know, the whole racing industry is quite stressful. It's very competitive. When jockeys have a fall, the first thing they think about, even if their leg's hanging off, they think, how soon can I get back to ride? Because that's all they want to do, get back to ride. They don't want to spend a year off, you know, recuperating. They want to be back in the saddle. But everybody knows Lambourne if they're slightly interested in horse racing. It's just a great base, great village. As I say, just a lovely place to live. Love it. Wouldn't move away. A lot of people come back. They leave and come back again.